Brock the Owl, Brock the Owl Shy, Brock the Owl, Brock the Owl Shy, Brock the Owl, Brock the Owl Shy. All praise unto Yahweh Shemi Shy, Wahara Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of the Great Millstone. All she brothers that be pushing the truth and sincerity for the four corners of the earth. This is going to be a relatively short video dealing with the so-called New World Order. Pretty much, when you check out the movies that go into this New World Order, when you check out the TV programs that go into the New World Order, Altered Carbon comes to mind. What else comes to mind? The TV program with the movie with Demolition Man, that comes to mind. Okay. Also, To Equilibrium with Christian Bale. That comes to mind, and what we see is a thing is a thing of a central supplier or singular supplier of a particular resource, and one of the things that is happening within the world, and this is just an example of that, is you're seeing slightly larger companies absorbing smaller companies to provide a resource, and in this case, this is the food industry. So when Bayer and Monsanto, become merged, you're gonna have a single, you're gonna have one of the biggest, or the biggest agricultural corporation in the world, and they're gonna have a lot of say and a lot of control over what you eat. Okay, that goes into all kind of, we know Monsanto is already GMO. They got GMO corn all over the place. So when this merger happens, that's going to expand the reach of Monsanto. I don't know who Bayer have underneath them. If I could quickly pull it up. Okay, if I put Bayer food, and hopefully that's going to pull up the different companies that are underneath them. Okay, because you might have Bayer as the main name, but it'll have different brands underneath them. Okay, so let's see what brands come underneath Bayer. Okay, so let's go to this particular website, and you're gonna see that reach of they've said Monsanto is like the worst company ever. So when you have this thing of a merger, and this all goes into the so-called New World Order, okay, then what you have is a thing of the reach of that so-called world's worst company reaching, okay, into other things, into other fields. Okay, so they're going into mostly what looks like medical stuff. So it says product milestone, you have aspirin, that's a Bayer product. Dr. Scholl's, I think that they go into shoes and that, shoe stuff. Rennie, I think that's a tablet or something like that. Okay, what else do you have? Do we have any food products? Because we're really dealing with the thing of food, but it's not a small company. Okay, when you have a monopoly on what's known as aspirin, okay, then you're doing pretty good. So when these two companies, merge, that's really gonna be bad for the world, because you're gonna have less good food within the world, okay, and more of it being controlled by one central place, okay. But it's good in the sense that this is really going into prophecy, okay, how that the children of Israel, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, are going to eat poison, because pretty much if you're eating food that's going to cause you cancer, you're eating poison. There's no other two ways of putting it. And a lot of Monsanto products, if not all of them, are cancer inducing. So when you have it to where Monsanto now becomes the world provider of food, you got a lot of people within the world eating all kind of poison, man. But that's a necessary thing for this prophecies to be fulfilled. Okay, the scripture talks about this man, this being Esau, the devil. And it's befitting that they've got this image there, because it represents the mentality of these Edomites. Okay, but when you go into the scriptures, it says that he who's working is coming. He whose works is after the company. Who his work is likened unto the devil. Okay, and I believe that's in the book of Thessalonians, and that basically means to say that everything that he was going to do was going to have a particular demonic vibration attached to it. Then it makes sense that he was going to have it to where he's got control over the food. I mean, all of the food. Okay, when you're Monsanto, you dictate what happens with corn. You dictate what happens with the water that the corn is used on, the pesticides, all of that. You control all of that. That's known as a global monopoly, man. Okay, you have control over those things, and when that company becomes bigger, then you have even more control of what happens with that particular product. Okay, so if you have it to where that product is then misused, then you're coming off after the workings of Satan. Okay, so I'm just reading a few excerpts of this. Okay, this is the company that created Roundup. Okay, Dye in California takes Monsanto to court for hiding cancer-causing effect of Roundup, weed killer, and this is the company that just got bigger. Okay, which releases cancer-causing products. Okay, the U.S. Department of Justice has reached a settlement that allows Bayer AG 66 billion takeover of Monsanto Co., requiring the German company to sell 9 billion in agricultural assets. So the merger initially proposed would have harmed consumers and farmers by eliminating competition, but really technically they have. When these two things come together, you really think it's like when you have a Lidl or a Walmart, you don't have no competitors around there, man. It's done. Okay, the competitors slowly dwindle away. Okay, when you set a price for corn, okay, that's the price if you're the biggest buyer of it. People are just going to go with that. Okay, otherwise they're going to go elsewhere. And if they go elsewhere, then your business is fucked. Okay, so it carries on. It says the American farm system is sort of critical importance to our economy of the food system. Okay, etc., etc. It says last October, Bayer agreed to sell its Liberty herbicide product and cotton and soybean seeds and other capabilities to BASF. And it goes into it. You can read all about that. It says, once combined, Bayer and Monsanto will be the biggest agricultural corporation, surpassing DuPont, okay, and China National, okay. And, that's going to mean that they have a lot of sway. Or they're going to say here, Monsanto is leading producer of genetically modified seed and has faced widespread criticism and protests over the effects that it's going to have on the environment. Okay, around that, Monsanto's most popular herbicide has been blamed for collapse in the monarch of butterflies. And if it affects butterflies, it affects a lot of things because they do, pollinate too. Okay, maybe that's why the reason you had the bee population reduced by a half. Okay. So they go into it. I just wanted to do that video because this is really leading towards they're moving towards their enterprise, which is the so-called New World Order, and we should move into our enterprise, which is to have this word go out. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna say all praise unto Yahweh Hashem Shai Wahara Kakadash, double honors unto the apostles of GreatMillStone. Ownership of to be pushing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.